Okay, this is going to be a short foundational level class that I encourage everybody to try and do at the start of this term. It's really about reconnecting to your body and kind of getting back into the mindset of Pilates. If you're newer to Pilates, this is a really good class to start to build awareness of your center and start to learn a little bit more about your body and the feelings and movements that we do. If you're a more advanced person, been doing Pilates for many years, this is still a really beneficial class to do. Going back to the basics, reconnecting after a holiday maybe, reminding yourself of those basic movements. These are all the building blocks to the harder exercises. And this is how you're going to build a nice, strong, resilient body that's going to carry you through your life as best as possible. Okay, so we're going to start lying on our backs. Just as a recap, when you lie on your back, you can use your mat as a little bit of an assessment, if you like, or a feedback mechanism for your spine. So when you lie down, just sort of relax a little bit, just kind of hang out here for a moment and just feel where your body's resting on the mat. If you notice any tension in your neck, or perhaps that your shoulders are a little stuck up, or maybe your head wants to rest back like so, then you know that maybe you'll benefit from a folded towel or maybe two folded towels, depends obviously on your own body, to support the head. That might be necessary, and that will help you relax the neck and get your alignment a bit more clean, okay? The other thing to watch is if you find that there's a bit of a gap under your ribs, okay, that's a type of posture perhaps where the ribs like to sort of sit a little forward, then you might also benefit from a head support, okay? So that's an individual thing. I'm not going to use one, so I'm going to take mine away, but remember, you might find that's a beneficial tool for you. As we lie down, again, just relax, let your back settle. Our spine should give a little bit into the floor when we lie down with gravity, just kind of letting your body rest here. And then I'm going to put one hand on my tummy, low belly area. And as I breathe out, I'm just going to observe and notice that I'll feel my tummy gently sink as I breathe out. Just that normal, natural movement that will happen. It will rise a bit when you breathe in. That's okay, just notice. When you breathe out, you might notice your tummy just kind of sink a little bit more down towards the floor. Now just exaggerate that a little bit more. On your next breath out, just try and feel the tummy sink and just try and feel a little bit more tone in that area of your body. Starting to get our brain to connect to that area and feeling a little more tone in our center as we breathe out. We're allowing the tummy to sink and we're just encouraging that little bit more, drawing in very gently, finding a bit more tone in our belly. Now I'm going to put my hand down at my side, and the next time I do that exhale, I'm going to allow my abdominals to just sink again. And I'm going to invite my lower back to just gently lengthen down to the mat, as if I'm just imprinting my lower back. My tail will lift a bit. And then I'm going to release and let the pelvis just rest back down. And again, as I breathe out, I'm thinking of my abdominals sinking down. My lower back, seeing if I can just lengthen, imprinting it into the floor as I curl my tail. And then release. This is a very small movement. It's not going to look huge. You can see on my body, it's not very big, but you'll feel that. Try and feel your center drawing in, your back, your lower back just gently lengthening, and your tailbone lifting off the mat. Just repeat a couple more times. And just watching that we're not clenching the buttocks to tilt the pelvis, but trying to feel the movement is from this center part of the body, those abdominal muscles contracting, the lower back lengthening and imprinting, and the tailbone lifting up a little bit. Now we're going to make it a little bit bigger, starting the same way by deepening the tummy, lengthening the lower back as we curl the tail. Now keep trying to rotate the pelvis, so you're trying to curl your tailbone up. We're going to roll up our hips, roll the pelvis up a little bit, not too high, hold it here, now just breathe. And again, observing, noticing, you should start to feel the work in your buttocks and the back of your legs. As we roll down, gently letting the spine drop one vertebra at a time down to the mat. And then releasing the pelvis back to level. We're going to repeat a few times the same thing. So feel those abdominals deepen. Lower back is lengthening as you curl the tail. Rolling up through the lower back. Now holding for a while. Try and think of your knees reaching forward as if there are magnets pulling your knees more over your toes. And at the same time, see if you can curl your tail under or rotate your sit bones under more. The more you do that action, the more you're going to feel your buttocks kicking into action. Rolling down through the spine, releasing on the way down, the pelvis back to level. Remember, we're not trying to come really high in this bridge, but we're trying to get that stretch in the lower back, that rotation in the pelvis. And as we roll up, we want to think of the knees reaching forward, the soles of the feet flat on the floor. Watch that you're not rocked out onto the little toe side of your foot. Try and get the whole foot flat down. Knees are parallel, or thighs are parallel. And then rolling down. We're going to do it one more time. So we're going to draw those tummy muscles in, lengthen the lower back as we curl, roll up. And then again, just watch that you haven't pushed your ribs forward, but the ribs are soft, front ribs are soft, and you're trying to curl the pelvis under. Now just put a little bit more weight in your right leg, so you stand a little more on your right leg. And then shift and stand a little bit more on your left leg. Just do it a couple more times and just try and see and feel in your body. Can you feel which side is the stronger side? Which side feels a bit easier to step on? And which side feels a little bit less trustworthy, a little bit harder to shift onto? Now try and bring your weight back onto two legs and try and feel evenly weighted as much as you can, being aware of those biases we all have. And now we're going to roll down through our back, lengthening through the crown of the head and bringing our spine back onto the mat. Good. Now just take a little breath again, just relax again, nice and easy. Find the center of your body again as you breathe out, these abdominals sinking, finding the tone in the tummy. Now we're going to breathe out, finding our abdominals, and just pick up one leg to tabletop. And then go ahead and put it back down. Breathing out, finding that tummy, finding a bit of tone, and picking up the other leg. So we're just doing like a very slow march, but you're trying to feel that you stay a bit more connected into your middle. Trying to just move from the hip joint, so we're not tucking the pelvis. We're trying to keep that pelvis and back the same, and just moving our leg independently, while we keep that little bit of tone in the center. Nice tall backs, nice relaxed chest. Good, now take your first leg to tabletop. Pause here, and we're going to take our opposite hand across onto the front of the thigh, and you're just going to press your hand onto your thigh bone, and your thigh bone push it back into your hand. Now, as you do that, draw the abdominals in a little bit, and you should feel really aware of your center working, your tummy muscles sort of shaking a little bit even. We're going to put that foot down, we can do the other leg. So we're going to take our other leg up and put my opposite hand on my thigh. And as I push, I'm going to push my hand on my thigh and press my thigh back in my hand. And just try and really feel your center working. Feel that little bit of shaky tummy. And down. Now, if you're quite new to Pilates or you're injured, I would repeat the singles again. But if you're feeling pretty healthy, we're going to do a double, which is more challenging. Okay, so you want to make sure you feel okay doing this. We're going to take one leg up. We're going to feel our abdominals a bit toned. And we're going to try and breathe out, keep that tummy pulled in, and bring the second leg up. Now from here, I'm going to take my two hands on just below my knee on the front of each thigh, and I'm going to push against myself. My thighs are pressing into my palms, and my palms, my hands are pressing into my thighs. It's a bit of shaky tummy. Now keep the ribs heavy. And we're going to see if we can imprint our lower back like we did earlier. So drawing the tummy muscles in, see if you can flatten your lower back bones into the floor a little more. And then just slightly release. Do that a couple of times. You'll feel this is tiny movement, but it's really challenging on your abdominals. You should be really feeling shaky tummy doing this. We're going to have one more try. Breathing out, drawing in the belly, and see if you can flatten your lower back. And then lightly release. And then we're going to bring our feet down, replace our arms back, have a little breather, shake it out again. Now we're going to repeat our bridge. So toes spread out, hip distance apart. We're going to tilt the pelvis again, and we're going to peel up through the spine one more time. Taking a breath in, and then rolling down. Now, if you could remember which leg was the more dominant, stronger leg, as we do this second set, try and press into your weaker side a little more, be more aware of that imbalance. Knees are reaching forward, the soles of the feet are flat. And we breathe out as we roll our spine down. We do one more time with a little bit of an add-on. So we're going to do the same thing we've been doing, deepening the tummy, rolling the pelvis up. Now, from here, I'm just going to reach my right knee a bit further forward. And as I do that move, my left hip will drop slightly. I'm going to come through center, and I'm going to reach my left knee forward. My right hip's going to drop down slightly. And then return. I'm going to keep doing this a couple more times. Reaching my right knee, standing into my right foot more. And back. Reaching my left knee, standing into my left foot, and back. Now this is a good tone for the glute muscles, your hips. You should be feeling working pretty hard here. Just trying to feel that sensation. Last one. Come back, and then we're going to breathe out, and we're going to roll back down and rest the pelvis. Good, now this time just bring your hands onto the front ribs. Just kind of feel that area of your body, be aware of that area. Take a nice calm breath out and imagine the ribs are sinking into the mat beneath you, and you're aware of that area of your back below the ribs or the lower ribs, okay? That's where we fold up from when we curl up in a moment. So let's take our hands interlaced. We're going to pop them behind our head. We're going to do just a basic chest lift. My elbows are slightly lifted. I'm thinking of my shoulder blades wrapping down my back and around the side of the rib cage a little bit. I'm going to just float my head to start with. And I'm letting my head feel quite heavy in my hands, as if my arms are like a cradle. Pelvis is level still. Okay, now even just holding my head up, I can feel my abdominal muscles are already switched on. That's already work for my neck and my tummy muscles. Okay. Now from here, remember where our front ribs, we had our hands on a moment ago. As we curl up, you're thinking of sinking those front ribs down as you curl your chest up, looking over my knees, and then lengthening the spine down. Breathing out as we curl up, think front ribs sink, curl the chest, look over the knees. Now this exercise is called a chest lift. It's not a head lift, so we're not just doing a kind of neck thing, making our necks feel achy. We're trying to curl the upper back, and it's a shaky tummy territory. You should be feeling quite a lot of work in the abdominals. Now hold it, breathe, wrap those shoulder blades around the sides of the ribs. See if you can curl a little further without tucking the pelvis. So my pelvis is level, I'm not tucked. Pelvis is level, slightly different tummy muscles working. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a break. We're going to do a few more add-ons which are a bit more challenging. So just obviously make sure you're feeling good as you go through these. We're going to curl up one more time. And we're going to just breathe out, sink the belly, and pick one leg to tabletop. Just like we had a little while ago. And I'm going to move that leg down. I'm going to breathe out, sink the tummy as I exhale up. Inhale, tap. And exhale, sink belly. Now I'm not just bending my knee to tap the floor. I'm moving from the hip joint. My leg is one. Last one. My knee joint doesn't change. Put my foot down and rest my head. It's pretty tough, that one. Okay, we're going to do other side. So when we're ready, nice and calm, we're going to curl up. Think of that ribs sinking, tailbone down, so I've got my alignment. Breathing out, drawing the tummy in as I pick up my leg. I've got 90 degrees at my knee. That stays as I toe tap. Exhale, lift. I'm not bending my knee. I'm moving my hip joint down. Exhale, up. You want to feel those tummy muscles working extra hard as you breathe out, up. Grow tall, fold the ribs, curl as you get tired. One more. And down, and take a rest. Now, if you haven't done some Pilates for a while, and this is, you're starting to feel the burn a bit, of course you can skip this next one. Last one, we're going to make it slightly harder still. So we're going to curl up, breathing, feeling that center working, getting a little bit warmer as we go. We're going to pick up our legs, hold it here, breathe. Now I'm going to see if I can do alternate toe taps. Moving from my hip joint, curling my chest, breathe. Definitely a little challenge on the abs. One more tap each toe. And then I'm going to bring my feet down, rest my head. I'm quite glad that bit's over, that's quite tough. Separate my feet, relax again. Okay, we're going to just do one more time, a couple of those bridges. So just rolling the pelvis, curling up into our bridge. This is called pelvic curl sometimes, a bridge sometimes. Same exercise, rolling back down. Let's just do two more. And again, just waking up the hips, rolling through the back, knees reaching, and all the way down, checking that you're pressing evenly through the feet and the placement of the feet and legs are staying in parallel. Last one. And down. Good. I'm going to hug my knees into my chest. I'm going to rock up. Okay, now we're going to do some half roll backs. We're not doing a full roll up because this is a foundational level class. Okay, so I'm going to have my knees are bent, feet a bit away. I'm going to hold behind my leg, sitting up tall. Now I'm going to round my spine again, especially trying to curl the pelvis under. And I'm going to round back until my arms are almost straight. And I'm just going to hold myself here, using my arms for support. Deepening the tummy. Now see if we can let go, keep the shape. It's a bit more work on the tummy now. And then breathe out and sit up. I'm going to repeat, so holding, rounding, rounding back, holding here, release, hold, breathe, and then think of using your center, using your tummy to sit up. We're going to do it two more times. If you're confident with these, obviously you can go a little bit further, but I'm just going to keep this level because we're doing foundational. Nothing wrong with staying at this level. It's challenging, as I'm sure you can feel, using our center to pull ourselves up. Now this last one, I'm going to roll down all the way onto my back. I'm going to use my hands, not going crazy. If you go nice and slow, you're going to feel the work in your tummy muscles. Try and curl the tail under, roll down, support yourself until you're lying on your back. Using your arms as much as you need. I'm going to bend my knees. Now we're just going to stretch our hips very quickly here. So holding behind my leg, I'm just going to stretch, bend. And then just do a little ankle movement. Just loosening our hips a little bit. Bend the knee in, just give a little pull. And down, other side. So I'm going to stretch, bend. I'm going to point, flex. And I'm going to bend in. Okay, now I'm going to go onto my side. We're going to do a little bit of side hip strength. So for this one, we're having our knees forward. Head under the arm. If you need more support, you can use a pillow or a towel here if this doesn't feel good on your shoulder for any reason. And then put my hand on my hip and just check you're not tucking. I've got a little bit tiny curve in my lower back and I'm not tucking my bum under. So I'm not lying like a fetus. I'm lying with a long back. Okay, now reach out that top leg. Keep your hand on your hip. This is where we're trying to find the work in this one. try and make sure your leg is parallel, so it's not turned out, or you'll only feel this big quad muscle, okay? Try and have it parallel. Now, you're going to lift the leg up and down. As you lift the leg, think of pressing your bottom ankle into the floor as you lift your top ankle up. And again, push both ankles away from center and back. Now, if you're not feeling it in your side hip, just check your leg is parallel. Almost think of leading with the heel bone. And the leg is in line with my torso. I'm not forward, it's in line, one straight line with my body. And you should be starting to feel this. If you're in good alignment, it will start to feel like it's working. Hold it up there. Now just hold it. Try and rotate the leg very parallel. So heel up, toes down a tiny bit. Press the bottom ankle into the floor. We're going to do 4 little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come down. Now I'm going to come onto my forearm and we're going to do a support work for our side. So here, lift up the underside rib, push your bottom knee into the floor here, and then push down with that bottom leg as you lift up your hips. Keep the side lifted, so you're trying to make a bigger space under you. Press your bottom knee down. Now, if you want more challenge, you can lift your leg out, okay? But just holding it, remember, this is just a little wake-up class. Bringing ourselves back, lowering the pelvis, coming back, and then just a little nice side stretch. Okay, we're going to repeat that very simple, quick exercise on the other side. So lying with our knees in front of us, head under the arm, hand on the hip, just checking I've got my back aligned, reaching the leg in line with my torso, checking it's parallel. I'm going to lift and lower. Press the bottom ankle into the floor. That leg is also working. And try and reach the heel up and down. And we want to keep a little bit of support. My side is staying the same. So I'm not kind of wiggling in my middle. I'm trying to get just my hip moving. Heel lifted, reaching long. Both heels push away from center. 2 more. Hold it. Now, rotate, heel up. Little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. Coming onto my side, quick little side support. Press the knee, bottom knee into the floor, lift up your side, balance. Now keep pushing that bottom knee down, keep lifting up. Hold it here. If you want more challenge, remember you can take the top leg out, it's optional. Hold it for another moment, coming down, and then we're going to do a little side bend. Okay, now our last thing, so a quick little short class. We're just going to do a bit on our arms. So come around onto your hands and knees. Now, try and find a nice tall spine. Knees apart under hips, wrists under shoulders. So if we can tuck our toes, we're going to try and do a knee hover. Now, lift the tummy muscles up so you're really supporting your back. And you're going to see if you can push into the floor and think about the idea of perhaps hovering your knees up for a few seconds. Holding if you can. And lowering down. We're going to do it a couple of times. Just a little knee hover if you can. If you can't, just imagine you're doing it. You're still weight bearing on your arms. Breathing, just finding that little bit of work through our arms, bit of work in our center. We're going to do it one more time. Float the knees, keep the back the same. Not too high with the knees. And then down. Good, now let the toes relax up. We're going to sit back, as long as that feels okay. Take a little quick, relax, deep breath here. Walk your 2 hands to one side and take a nice deep breath in. Walk your hands the other side, just stretch the side of the body. We're going to come back onto our hands and knees. Just finish with a cat stretch. Last thing, just move your spine, around the spine. Gently arch the spine. Breathe. Just trying to kind of get that lovely flexibility. It feels really nice when you move your spine. Kind of feel that. Feels good to move. Last one. Good. And that's it. Quick little reconnect class. See you all soon.